My man Doug Ford this afternoon was visited by the long-haired Macdaddy today at Queen's Park. Doug Ford, let me tell you something about this man. Now, I have, from the time Rob Ford became mayor of Toronto, I have been dreaming of either Rob Ford or Doug Ford becoming Premier of Ontario. That has been something that I have worked for, that I have toiled for, and the day came a few days ago, and it was a glorious day. Now, the thing that you have to understand is that during the campaign, the anticipation, I was actually a bit worried. I was a bit worried. And now I voted for Doug Ford. I voted for him, and I proudly voted for him. And I was always going to vote for him. But I was a bit worried because he had appeared like he was softening. I was a bit worried. I was concerned that maybe he would go rogue, that maybe the establishment in the PC party got a hold of him. They kind of took him. But I'm going to tell you, this man is the real deal. He is the real deal. He ain't playing around. He ain't kidding. And today, he put the long-haired Macdaddy firmly in his place. He put that Macdaddy. He gave him a good whooping. Now, it doesn't have to be a whooping where he takes him to the woodshed, removes his belt, and whoops him, chastises him. He doesn't have to do that. He gave him a moral, humiliating, verbal, and moral whooping. That's what he gave him. He gave him a moral whooping. Tore him up. Made him cry. Made him look stupid. Made him look weak. Doug Ford ain't playing around. And I'm going to tell you this. Doug Ford is I don't think he's just the second most powerful man in this country. He's probably the first. I'm going to tell you that right now. Today, Doug Ford did a few things that really, really made me come to realize that he is the real deal. First of all, he got rid of the carbon tax or the cap and trade, or he's about to get rid of it. It's done. That's gone. It's in the toilet. It ain't coming back. And by the way, for all you weak Tories out there, you weak, spineless, red Tories out there is something in the Charter of Rights called the Notwithstanding Clause. And the Notwithstanding Clause, this is something that a premier in Quebec actually imposed back in the 80s. And what it means is that the premier of various provinces can invoke this and overturn any Supreme Court, any judge, any jury, whatever. He can overturn it. He can overturn the Charter of Rights if he wants to. And there ain't nothing the long-haired Macdaddy can do about it. There ain't nothing that Gerald Butts can do about it. There ain't nothing Jagmeet Singh can do about it. There ain't nobody can do about it. It's done. He can do it. It's been done before. Back when Quebec was imposing their languages law, the Supreme Court made that unconstitutional, and the Premier of Quebec at the time, in the 80s, he said, I don't think so. I'm going to invoke this. And there ain't nothing nobody could do about it. It was done. But anyway, so he can get rid of the carbon tax. There is not going to be a carbon tax in Ontario. It's just not going to happen. It's done. You liberals can cry all you want. But secondly, most importantly, he looked at Macdaddy in his nasty face and he said to him, you and your government, which it corrupt, money-hungry, illegal, alien-welcoming, Canadian betraying selves, you all are going to pay 100% of the cost of all these illegal aliens that come into Ontario, that come into Toronto, that come into Hamilton, that come into Windsor, that come into Ottawa, that come everywhere. Y'all are paying for it. We are not paying another penny to these illegal aliens. That's what they are. Because the long-haired Mac that encouraged them to come over, encouraged them. He went on Twitter and he said, all are welcome. Who's persecuted all over the world, you are welcome to Canada. Just come on in. You don't need no passport. You don't need nothing. Just come on in. Just come in. He said that. He's encouraged it. And now we have a big, huge mess in Toronto. And by the way, y'all blaming John Tory for this. It's not John Tory. He didn't do anything. That man didn't do anything. In fact, I actually have a newfound respect for John Tory. I might actually endorse him, actually. He did nothing. He didn't encourage him. He didn't do a damn thing. The long-haired Macdaddy is 100% to blame for bringing in these people, and John Tory has been asking for help, and Doug Ford has been asking for help, and the Macdaddy has not been giving any adequate help for these people, and we've been putting them in shelters, homeless shelters. We've been putting them in hotels. We've been putting them in college and university dorms. And I mean, what about the people in Canada who are Canadians who freeze and die out in the streets every day when it's winter, or who are probably dying of heat stroke? Look, there were 33 people today. 33 people today in Quebec who died of heat stroke. In Quebec, 33. Where was their free college dorms and all that stuff? Where was that? There was nothing for them. Nothing. And last winter, hundreds of Torontonians died in that winter. Where was their thing? So Doug Ford saying, we ain't putting up with this crap no more. And not only that, we are pulling out of the deal. We are pulling out. We are no longer participating in this whole refugee asylum nonsense. We're just not gonna do it anymore. Doug Ford said that. I never thought he would do that. I'm going to tell you, I thought Doug Ford was going to just be another premier. Okay, he's a conservative. He was just going to go along and get along. He's just going to kind of manage it and kind of do his thing. Well, maybe lower a few taxes here and there. Maybe cut one or two regulations. Just not really do much. This man is for real. If he could do something like that, if he can have the guts to do that, and Andrew Scheer better be paying attention. Andrew Scheer, you better be paying attention to Doug Ford. He is the real deal. He is the real deal. He has looked the Macdaddy in the eye. He was not friendly with him. And Lisa MacLeod was there too. And they said, this crap is going to stop. We're not paying for this anymore. And we're not allowing it anymore. Don't bother with us anymore. We're done. We're out. And then Ahmed Hussein, that minister of immigration with his fool self, Ahmed Hussein, comes up on television and says, well, Canada has, it's against the law for Canada not to allow these illegals to come into Canada and give them a fair asylum trial. Fool, you're telling lies. You're telling a damn lie. There ain't no law that says that. First of all, I'll tell you number one. Number one, there are legal ways to try to get asylum in Canada. You can't just cross a border illegally, jump some fence, swim through some river, and then expect to just be allowed to stay here. And we don't have to put up with that. That is against the law. You cannot break the law to try and seek asylum. That's number one. That's number one. And number two, there ain't no law that says, who told you that, Ahmed Hussein? Who told you that, fool? Who told you that, boy? Who told you that it's against the law for Canada to bring in asylum seekers once they reach our territory, whether legally or illegally? We have to keep them. Who told you that? There ain't no law that says that. We signed a treaty. That's just a treaty. It's not an order. It's some UN treaty. You think the UN can do anything to us? The UN is nothing more than a brick building with a bunch of foreigners in it. The UN can't do anything to us. What you think this is, Ahmed Hussein? What you think this is? You stop lying to the people of Canada. Stop lying. Stop lying. Who told you that? Who told you that? There's only one law in Canada, and that's the government of Canada. The Supreme Court of Canada is the highest court in the land. World Court, the World Court in The Hague, they can't do anything to us. What kind of foolishness are you talking? They can't do anything to us. Honestly, they're nothing. They're nothing. They can't. The UN can't do anything. The World Court can't do anything. The World Bank can't do anything. They can't. The only thing they could do is withdraw funding to us. And we don't need their money. We give them money. You know how much money we give them? We could withdraw our funding to them and they'll starve. They can't do anything to us. Who told you that lie, Ahmed Hussein? Or is it you trying to lie to the people of Canada? I really liked seeing the Macdaddy out there at Queen's Park. God, you should have seen Doug Ford. He was not playing with this long-haired Macdaddy. He was not joking with him. He wasn't joking. He was not. I wish I could have seen it. I wish I could have seen it. He's even tougher than Trump has been to the Macdaddy. Doug Ford really put Justin the long-haired, swift-foot, two-timing Canadian betraying Macdaddy in his proper place. In his place. That woman-groping, classist Macdaddy, he was put in his place by brother Doug Ford, and we salute Doug Ford. And this is the Nation.